Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for ThoughtCast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most. I almost made it. Chef
I
Steven
don't
Gonzalez.
I don't even know what I was doing. Just
I don't
exhaling.
know. It's so great. You knew exactly
My
what you were
my
doing.
screen froze. It's what it was. It's like Bill Murray in Zombieland.
Like likely story. Steven,
Right.
what's going on?
Oh, just enjoying some time to myself. What about you?
Thank you
What?
thank you for spending the time to yourself with me.
That technically counts as spending time to myself because you're like one of
Hey.
my closest friends. So yeah, it
Oh.
works out. So let me stop sucking
Nice.
up and tell you what I really want.
Steve's been going real hard for that raise, y'all, and I just don't have it in the budget this year. It's really unfortunate.
You're gonna go on a 0% raise of $0. So there you go.
What do you? Do you give a raise to somebody that doesn't get paid for their job? I don't know.
It's true. Passion.
Well, Steven, what's been going on? How's your week?
It's been good. It's been fun. It's been very unusual because someone special in my life just had their birthday.
Woo woo.
And so I had to make her dinner. I didn't have to. I chose to because
Well, it's like,
you know
careful, this
it's
is gonna
only
be
it's the right thing to
recorded
do.
forever.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, it's funny because so my wife had her birthday. She doesn't expect anything on her birthday. She doesn't want anything. She doesn't want us to make like a big deal out of it, right?
Mhm.
So me, on the other hand, I'm like, no, it's your birthday. We gotta have fun. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. I invited a handful of friends without telling her until like a couple hours
Yes.
before. All I told her was be ready by 6:30. That's it.
Mm.
And so yeah, we totally just had a good time. I tried a different way to cook down some chuck ribs, so that was
Nice.
fun. That's why I say it was unusual because usually. So walk me through how you do your chuck ribs. Cliff's notes.
Okay, so we talk bone in, bone out.
Bone in.
So the way that I like to do them is I like to season them 3 days ahead with a dry rub.
Mhm.
And I'll make like a compound butter. So if I was going to do them on the stove, there'd be like a little red wine action or whatever. But I
Yeah.
just take the shortcut. I reduce whatever liquid I'm going to use by half till it's really thick, and then whip that into the butter, and then I'll rub that on top of this is going to be like a mouthful, the dry rubbed ribs, right?
Uh-huh.
Rub there.
Rub
And
ribs.
then I wrap them in plastic and foil, and I just
Nice.
lay them out flat on a sheet pan, and like
I used to
300
wrap
for
them
a couple hours.
Yeah, I used to wrap
Yeah.
them in plastic, but I always get paranoid that it's gonna like just melt onto it.
No, because the aluminum, it insulates that.
Yeah.
It keeps the plastic from melting, and then the plastic keeps your food from tasting like aluminum, and vice versa. And it's a happy partnership.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's usually what I do.
Nice.
So-
So this it kind of ties into like the most amazing thing I've had this week. So
Mm.
since we'll be talking about that for this episode,
Mhm.
you go first. What was the most amazing thing that you had this week?
The most amazing thing I had this week was it's going to pale in comparison to yours, but believe it or not, I had some loaded, we'll call them tachos. I
love it.
I finally found a place in town that'll let me tweak the menu, a la Good Friends in Dallas, Texas, with no complaints. So, or at least not to my face, but they had like a loaded tots on the starter menu, and I was like, I don't know, we're really in the mood for that. I was kind of that hungry where everything sounded good and nothing all at the same time.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, I see here that you can add brisket to a baked potato. Could I put this on those loaded tots and kind of make like a tot nacho situation? And they were like, yes. And I was like, okay, then that's what I want. And then egg on top.
So what you're telling me is there's a new menu item called the Melissa at that place.
The tachos. Yes, eventually. I'm not sure. But yeah, loaded tots, brisket,
Heck
pico de
yeah.
gallo, sour cream cheese, and an egg.
That sounds pretty
It
good.
was phenomenal, and it was really, really good. So
there goes my meal prep. I'm gonna just go eat junk today. So yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I mean, I really want tachos now. Thanks a lot. But we ate the majority of everything. I think all we have left is like mashed potatoes. But like I made those chuck ribs, cooked them like 6 hours,
Yes.
and I injected them. I've never done that before. And a friend of mine who has a restaurant who I've been trying to get on but we just scheduling conflicts. He was like, "Why don't you just inject them?" You know,
Mm,
that's how he does it, and then he smokes them and all that stuff, and they come out amazing. So he's always got all these good reviews about his restaurant, about
nice.
like the dino ribs.
Nice.
So we injected them with like a soy powder, or soy sauce powder, porcini powder, mushroom powder, garlic powder, of course, water. Because I've never done that before, so I was like,
It's
"Well,
like
I'm
a
intrigued."
super umami bomb,
Yeah,
right? Like
I
it's
even
all
added just a
umami.
little bit of salt, and I seasoned them on the outside, garlic, pepper, salt, and stuff like that. I was kind of afraid that they were going to turn out like really salty, but
Yeah.
no, like the umami, the beef
Well,
flavor, the richness.
where do you buy soy powder?
I actually got it from him. He gave me
Hmm,
a little bit to try because he was like, "Yeah, this is what we do," and he probably orders it like from one of his vendors and whatnot. I don't know
yeah.
which one he goes through, but I mean, I
Does it
never
kind of
heard of
have
it
like
before.
almost a miso flavor? Is like that? Is that what
It
happens? Or
it does. It hits your tongue like because you dip your finger in there and then you put it on your tongue. You're like the amount of salt from that just makes my
yeah.
mouth water right now in a good way.
So essentially, you could add it to water and make soy sauce, but it's not. But it's like ultra
Right.
concentrated, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would call it soy sauce at that point, but I mean,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
it
That's
was one of those
intriguing.
things. Yeah, I'd never seen it before. So of course you mix it all up and inject it. By the way, if you ever inject beef ribs, be very careful. Slowly inject it because it will pop out and get you. I got splashed in the face. Thank God I had my glasses on. I got it on my shoulder, and
Safety first.
I smelled delicious, and I
You
wanted to just
smell
eat my arm off.
delectable.
Yeah, my dog was, wanting to get on my shoulder, like to check out my shoulder. My wife couldn't stop smelling my shoulder. I mean, it just smelled good, and yeah, I mean, normally, it was funny because I always score my chuck ribs. I always score that plate because I just want to see it, like get all that flavor into it. But my friend kind of warned me against it. And he was like, "No, because it'll fall apart. I've done it and it falls apart." And for me, it's the opposite. Like it always works out great. I always leave a bunch of extra fat on so it'll
Yeah.
render out stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I tried it his way and it was still good. And what made my day was he was one of the people who came over for dinner and he complimented my ribs.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
love that.
He does this for a living, and I'm like I'm just having fun with it, trying his interpretation of it, and he's like, "Yeah, no, these are really good." So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
but I don't know about you, but every time I cook ribs, I always get impatient. Like I used my meter thermometer, and I was temping it to like 195, and like almost 4 hours comes in, it's still only at like 150, and I'm thinking to myself, "What the heck is going on? Why
Yeah.
isn't this getting? Why
You
isn't
know,
this going up?"
it's an interesting like it seems like it takes forever until you get to the 130s, 140s, and then it's very fast, right? And then it's
I
like,
felt the
well,
opposite way this time around.
really?
Yeah, like it went up to 130 like that, and then it just took forever.
It just
You know?
plateaued there.
Yeah. So
So yeah.
I don't know. Either way, it came out really good. Of course, you had that pull, so it just shrinks up and stuff like that.
It's
And
awesome.
yeah, I didn't realize there's. I mean, I know that there's so much skin underneath the bottom of that rib, like that film, the silver skin. What do you call it?
Yeah, silver skin, sure.
Is it silver skin? I don't know.
I mean, there's
Anyways,
like there's a membrane.
yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. That's the word I
Yeah,
was looking
sure.
for. I couldn't think of it. But yeah, like there's so much
Happy to
membrane
serve.
underneath, like those beef ribs versus like pork ribs.
Yeah.
And I spent a good amount of time trying to clean them up. So I was like, oh my goodness, there's another layer. Oh, there's another layer. But I mean, everything was just good, right? So typically, whenever you have like your chuck ribs, what are the sides that you enjoy?
It kind of depends. It depends on how I've seasoned them. Like one of my favorite approaches is to go kind of pan Asian, and so it would be like a broccoli slaw or like a Brussels slaw with
Okay.
some slivered almonds and like a rice wine vinegar, mustard powder type deal.
Yum.
If I've rubbed them with like black garlic and five spice powder and a lot of ginger and stuff, right? And then you're gonna have some sort of yummy reduction that's going to go with it, kind of like in the hoisin area, right? Like a sweet
Yeah.
soy or something like that. So I would always have like a slaw and then maybe a sweet potatoes of some kind, like a riff on them. gingery and things like that, green onions. If it's the other direction, straight up really traditional, it's going to be like onion, potato, celery, carrot type roasted. Like everything's like a large oblique, like a big, large rustic dice, like a roasted side, and then some sort of like a green salad to go with it.
You kind of lost me at the green salad part, but it does all
I
sound
know
really good.
other people eat. Let other people enjoy salads.
Right. Well, we did potatoes, and I had every intention of doing like a Hasselbeck roasted rib, but then
you told me you were going to do that.
Yeah, I told you I was, and I lied to you because I was told like don't score it, let it do its thing. So, like
Dude,
I said,
you didn't not only lied to me, but you lied to our guests.
All of our
lied to our fans,
listeners. I know, I'm terrible
liar. Anyway,
to everyone listening out there, I am very sorry.
Hey,
let me start my 5-point apology.
Right, this just goes to show that even though chefs cook at home, sometimes we pivot and things don't happen the way we thought, and then we change directions. Like that's simple,
So I had bought like russet potatoes, and I was gonna, slice them, stuff that rib and all that.
Yeah.
So I just said, you know what, we're just gonna make like mashed potatoes with russets, even though like Yukon Golds, in my opinion, are better. But I was like, screw it, let's just do it. And of course, with that, you add your cream, your butter. I love to add egg yolks to it. Do you ever add egg yolks to your mashed potatoes?
I can't say that I have, but I see where you're going. Like I think it makes a lot of sense because it's just one step removed from a gnocchi or a like choux paste, basically. You know what I mean? Not choux paste. God, what am I thinking about?
Pâte de choux?
No, but with potatoes. What am I thinking? It's like where you make a choux paste with. Pardon us while we have a private conversation, listener.
Right.
God, I can't remember what it's. It'll get there.
It'll hit us after we're done recording.
It'll get there. Like a potato.
That stuff.
Dumpling.
Potato choux.
God, I can't.
We'll just say potato choux.
For lack of anything better, obviously we're lacking it. So yes, carry on.
So with that,
fried.
We did that. It's simple, and we ended up making way too much mashed potatoes. I still have some almost a week later, so I have to figure out how to
croquettes.
Yeah. So it was cool. And then we also had frozen king crab legs. So I used that with like a mac and cheese, and so
What do you mean you use that with mac and cheese? You made crab mac and cheese? Is that what you're saying?
Crab mac and cheese.
What?
But here's where it gets a little bit weird. We used bacon Gouda, and I used a wheel of brie because I figured, let's see what
bacon.
Yeah, bacon stuffed Gouda.
It's like studded.
Yes.
Okay, then
it is. I mean, by itself, it's magnificent.
I'm sure
it makes you just want to eat a whole wheel of Gouda cheese with bacon pieces in it. Oh, yeah, but that, and along with like the brininess of the crab, it was really good. So I was really reluctant to put salt in there, but there was a couple bites where we're like, oh, this is a little bit briny. Oh, this is really good. Oh, it's a little bit,
Yeah.
But
okay.
Overall,
so it balanced itself out.
Oh yeah, in certain bites and certain pieces, like it's weird because like you're breaking open all these crab legs and you save everything, you cut it all up, and then just kind of you just kind of sweat it with some butter. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to add any seasoning because again, it's salty enough as it is, and you pray that you use unsalted butter. I think I used unsalted butter. I just used whatever I could get my hands on in the.
Was the crab pre-seasoned at all?
It was pre-cooked, So, but even then,
okay. Yeah. How do you think you would mitigate that? So, if anybody out there wants to kind of like play around with this, do you think you could kind of like ice bath it to kind of reduce the?
You could. You definitely could. You could brine it too, even though it's already cooked. But still, like that would help with all that salty brininess. But you pray that all that good brininess gets into your pasta and continues to So, but
so did you salt the? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say. Everything came out really good though. Not gonna complain.
So in the process of doing that, knowing what you knew, did you salt the pasta water or no?
I still seasoned or salted it, but I didn't go as heavy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But dude,
that sounds incredible.
I've never used a wheel of brie cheese in my mac and cheese, nor will I ever do it again. It was so good. And I mean, it was just so
You
rich,
trimmed all the rind off, and then
No,
you
I
left
just
it.
threw, I
Did you
just threw it in
puree it?
as, yeah, pretty much. So I
Okay.
just had like cream, your cheeses, little seasonings, things like that, and I just kind of used that immersion handheld blender.
With the stick blender, yeah.
It
Nice.
came out good.
I love the stick blender, dude.
Those things are amazing.
It's so awesome.
I,
I think
yeah.
I've probably used it for several things that it wasn't intended for, which is perfectly fine. But one of my favorite uses for it, believe it or not, is blending the jar of natural peanut butter so it doesn't separate.
I need to do that. I never thought about doing that. That's a good idea. Because every time I open those, you splash all over yourself, and then you get mad. You just want to throw the entire thing away.
Yes,
it drives me crazy.
So there's a brand at Walmart called Crazy Richards, and it's just peanuts and salt is the ingredients. And so it says you're supposed to refrigerate it. Well, what happens is it separates, and then you have to stir it every time. And I don't have time for that. I'm extremely busy. I don't have time for stirring peanut butter. And so, yeah, I just blend it when I first buy it and then keep it in the fridge. And then if I need to spread it on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, instead of letting it sit out, I put the amount I'm going to use on a paper plate and I microwave it for like 5 seconds and it's fine. So
that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds like what I need to do.
Path of least resistance.
I just do a scoop of peanut butter and just throw it in my mouth. So then I can't talk very well for a while.
Also that.
Yeah. But
yeah, also that. So you had the most amazing braised, injected and braised, or baked.
It wasn't braised. I mean, it was just slow roasted.
These were roasted. Okay. Yeah. So injected and roasted chuck ribs with mashed potatoes and crab mac and cheese.
Yeah. And then our friend was awesome. She made Yorkshire puddings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that came out of this world. And I was going to make like an onion gravy to go with all that, but everyone started showing up. Wine starts getting open, and you're like, okay, well, let's just have some fun. That was one thing I didn't get to do, but
I would like to
there was
now.
No complaints. Yeah. No complaints whatsoever. And of course, like your roasted vegetables, your grilled off asparagus, things like that, because that's what my wife likes. So of course you have to oblige and make it simple.
It was her birthday.
It was her birthday. She gets what she wants.
Yeah, you had to make her. What if she had asked for a salad bar? Would you have been like, no?
I would have made a meat salad bar. It would have been all roasted.
You have made it's like charcuterie bowls.
Yeah, basically. It would just be meats, cheeses, and maybe a little greens. More emphasis on meats and cheeses.
I like it. So this bowl of croutons, and I put one single arugula leaf on it.
Therefore, it's a salad.
Salad now. You don't make friends with salad, Steven. It's fine.
But yeah, you're not wrong there. So have you ever done like beer cakes and stuff like that, where you just kind of get like the mix, and instead of adding like the egg and the oil and all, you just throw a beer in there?
Like a cake mix, like a sweet.
Yeah.
I haven't done it with beer, but I have done it with root beer. Root beer goes great in a yellow cake mix, and I've done it with you can put an orange soda in, like strawberry soda, like Dr. Pepper and a chocolate cake mix, like
yes. I did that, but with a stout beer, and that came out real rich. The funny part was that I had, because it's October now, and my favorite month is October. I used a pumpkin-shaped pan and did like a pumpkin-shaped stout cake.
What was the base cake? What was it?
It was just dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate and amazing.
Yeah. So we did that, and then I made like a cream cheese frosting, and I added pureed pumpkin, vanilla, a little cinnamon, kind of have to have that pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
And it looked like a 5-year-old did it, because then I started adding marshmallows that were stuffed with like salted caramel, like in all the little holes, like for the eyes and the nose and the mouth and all that. And to make it look even worse, I wrote "Happy Birthday" with red gel icing, and it just
it looked like it was bleeding.
It looked awfully awesome. And so well, I'll have to share a picture with you so you can put it.
Honestly,
so our listeners can see that.
Honestly, I think some of the joy of like a homemade baked good sometimes, or even we'll call it like a halfway homemade. I mean,
Oh yeah,
whatever. You made
total
it in your
halfway,
house.
total
You
cheating.
made it. It's not cheating. You made it in your house, so it's homemade.
Technically.
And so I think some of the joy of that is really like not being not being under any pressure to make it perfect. You're
Yeah.
doing, it's somebody's birthday, you're doing something you love, you know that it's something everybody will like, and you're not afraid to like get a little silly with it. I just, all this, measurements and rulers and straight edge, like I save that for a job, you know what I mean? And I just don't,
Mhm.
sometimes if a cake is lopsided, it's fine. It's still going to taste good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
You made it with love.
100%.
You made it with love, like you were intending to entertain. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do
Mhm.
that. What kind of stout was it?
Ooh, it was from a local brewery. It was crap, I can't remember off the top of my head. It was from Eccentric Brewery, who unfortunately are no longer around. But I did buy a bunch of their beer before they went out of business, and it
Good
was
on you.
like, yeah, it was like electric stout or something. It was something cool like that. Like,
Yeah, just like some chocolate and
yeah,
nut
pretty
notes
much.
or something like that.
Oh yeah, because that and yeah, stouts, dark chocolate, and nuts, they all go
Yeah,
hand in hand.
yeah.
And then you throw pumpkin with it for
You could
pumpkin
have.
spice.
I think you could have done the same thing with a Guinness.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like
Here's
Guinness
the funny
chocolate
part
stout.
is my wife is not a big pumpkin spice person, but like when you put all those flavors together, it came out really good. So there's no
Yeah,
complaints. That's the best part.
I saw a recipe the other day that you would have loved, and I think I meant to text it to you, but we're just going to talk about it right now.
Let's do it.
It was a video of a guy making pumpkin cinnamon rolls, and so it was like a basic yeast dough, and he put a little bit of the puree. So essentially, in this recipe, right, it made like 12 large cinnamon rolls, like in a 9 by 13,
Mhm.
and I can get you the exact like the details later on, but essentially like he had a can of pumpkin pie filling and he put half of that in the dough to flavor it and he put the other half in the spread in the middle,
Nice.
like
Yeah.
brown sugar, whipped butter, and more pumpkin pie spice. It looked amazing. I don't even like pumpkin, and I was like, I kind of want to make those right now, but like a really basic warm milk, melted
Yeah.
butter, yeast dough. I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of want to do that. Like maybe coming around to the dark side. Although I think I would do mine with sweet potato, to be honest.
I
Like,
could see that. Yeah.
it's all the same flavors, just different texture. Like it's all the
Right.
same nutmeg,
I've
cloves. Like,
I've
that.
done PB and J cinnamon rolls, and those were
Yes,
really good too.
yes, please.
Yeah, you just throw a little bit of peanut butter like in your filling, and then like your icing has jelly in it. It's just so good.
Did you use grape?
Of course.
You made like a powdered sugar glaze essentially with melted grape jelly as the base.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing
That
wrong with
was
that.
good.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at
Right.
all.
And that just was on a whim too.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
love when that happens. You're like, oh, let's do this. And
I like it too.
what's the worst that could happen?
I like it too. What's the most, Steve? What's the most memorable birthday meal you ever had?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's kind of what we're talking about today, right? Like birthday
Right?
meals, throwing together, throwing down at your house.
One of the most epic birthday meals I've ever had. Hmm. I would say when I went to Vegas, we
Mm,
ate at a place called Amano, Las Vegas. And it's like one of those things where they just kind of make all these Frankenstein Italian dishes
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like a pizza with a calzone into it. And like it's half
Yes.
pizza, half calzone stuffed with pasta and stuff like
Let's
that.
go.
Oh my goodness. That was epic
What
because
about? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's not
Sorry.
like Italians would probably be mad and say you can't do that, but holy crap, it's good. It's good.
What about? I don't know. I feel like Italians get mad about a lot of things. We're gonna get canceled. I don't know.
Our show won't play in
Insert
Italy.
insert any ethnicity here. Every human being gets mad about everything. There, I got myself out of it. But food. There's a lot in the TikTok sphere of Italian folks getting mad about Italian food. There you are.
I
What?
I actually just came across one where it was a couple, a guy and a girl, and the girl's Italian. And he's coming up to her like, "I've got this pappardelle pasta," and she's
He
like,
goes, it's
"Pappardelle."
pappardelle.
Yeah, she's like, "No, it's pappardelle," and
I
like
saw it.
you could tell. Oh my goodness, I about died laughing with that one
He
because
was,
at the
he was like so annoyed.
yeah, like he's just trying to be as annoying as possible and butcher the language as much as possible. Oh my goodness.
I had a similar conversation this week. Somebody asked me if I had tried a sub place,
Mhm.
and I asked him if they got a grinder. And both of the other people in the conversation were from up north, and they were like, "It's not a grinder; it's either a hero or maybe a hoagie." And I was like, "Hey, can we calm down? Like, just calm down. All I asked was a question. Just say no if the answer is no. Like,
Shots fired.
calm down." Like, I was
Y'all
like,
need to chill.
did you get a long sandwich with Italian meats on it? Okay, can we start there? But yeah, well, what's been your favorite birthday meal that was a home celebration? Did you make it
Um,
yourself? Did somebody else make it?
I usually make my own. I mean, very rarely do I make my own meals on my birthday. I always love to go
Yeah.
get sushi on my birthday.
Hmm.
Like that's a good one too, you know. And I'll just eat, and it's like usually lunch that I'll do it, and I'll eat so much that I'm done for the rest of the day. So yeah,
For anybody that's been listening to the Food for ThoughtCast since the number 50s episodes, you'll remember that Chef Steve's favorite comfort food is sushi.
that too,
So,
that too. But what about you? What's like
yeah,
the most epic meal you've had on your birthday?
I think I was maybe 22 or 23 living in Austin, Texas, and we went to a place called Contigo. And, we're like working a chef shift is it's kind of a crapshoot as to A, when you'll get to celebrate your birthday, and B, like who can attend. Because chef hours are so much, kitchen hours are so much different than everybody else's work hours. But the friends kind of showed up to this huge long table in like three different waves, and it was just some of the most precious people to me.
Yeah,
Besides family, right? Like the family I get that you get to choose, right? Your family, your friends. It was just epic. We did the tasting menu. There, one friend of mine, Tiffany, bought me the foie gras corny dog. There were all sorts of things. There were like Berkshire pork pigs in a blanket,
oh
and
man,
I think there was like octopus and all pate and all sort of things. It was a really really neat small plate experience, and just getting to share it with so many people.
yeah.
On somewhat, if I'm remembering correctly, kind of like short notice. So it was like the stars aligned, everything worked out. Everybody who said they could made it. You know what I mean? So it was
You
pretty
know what? Now
spectacular.
that you mention it, I think when I turned 20, I've got two different stories about that. When I turned 20, I was working in the restaurant. I was brand new to the restaurant world, stuff like that. And I was
Yep.
working garde manger. And at the time, I was all, like, I'm one of those people where it's like, hey, my birthday's this month. Hey, my birthday's next week. Oh, my birthday, I think I always get excited for it.
I have
So,
the exact opposite, Steve. You'll be
so the
like, "When's your
chef,
birthday?" And I go, "I don't have one of those." Moving on.
but like the chef was like, "Well, what do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "You know what? I want you to make me some just anything. Make me a burger, like make me an epic burger." And so he ground up some prime tenderloin, some lamb, and some buffalo, and made like this killer burger. And of course, he handmade like all the pommes frites and all that stuff, which I mean, we all do, like. But it was just amazing because he cooked all that in duck fat and whatnot. Holy
Yes.
cow! That one was epic. And then I think when I turned, man, I want to say I was 21, 22, something like that. One of our pastry chefs knew that I loved oatmeal cream pies. And so she made me this giant homemade oatmeal cream pie. And it was the best. I tried, it was so hard to share with all my friends or all the people that I worked with. But I mean, holy cow, that to this day was amazing. So,
I think there's something so gratifying. There's a couple of different approaches to birthdays, right? Like I will go through phases in life where I'll kind of make a big deal out of mine, or
mhm.
I don't want a big deal made out of it. But I think either, whichever camp you fall in, there's nothing better than when somebody goes out of their way to make something special for you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
most
And
definitely.
and a lot of the times it's so from the heart. Like I
Yeah.
had some folks that I used to work with in Dallas. One of them made like a homemade tres leches. It
Mhm.
was just phenomenal, and I knew what their work schedule was leading up to the day. You know what I mean? I'm like, you had to have done this at like 2 a.m, and I could tell it's from
Yeah,
scratch. You know, like it was just amazing. It was just amazing, and that things taste so much better. You know, when they're
I
from the heart.
agree. Oh yeah,
Yep.
most definitely. I want to say back on my birthday this year. So a friend of mine and I share the same birthday, and we just had a bunch of people over, and I made, let's see, tri-tip. Gerardo from De Casa made like a
Yeah.
bruschetta.
He
That
said it
was
was the
super
most
dope.
amazing thing he ate that week was the tri-tip.
Yep. And we just had a bunch of snacks and things like that. And usually I'm not gonna lie, on my birthday I like to party hard, but this time around I was very well behaved. So there was also that. And then of
Sometimes you
course,
want to remember.
yeah, exactly. There was lamb chops. I don't even remember what the heck else we had, but I mean everything was just so good, right? And it's funny that you say that because this year, as much as I like for it to be about me, this year I was like playing gracious host, like, hey, thanks for
Yeah.
coming. Can I get you anything to drink, or do you want any more food, stuff like that? And
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different feeling, and I felt great taking care of people, which kind of ties into like why we got into food in the first place, which is to take care of other people and make
Yeah.
other people happy along with ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I felt really happy
I
doing that.
love I love hosting people. I
Hmm.
kind of like my idea of a perfect birthday would be, to go out with my brother. Of course, he's my birthday buddy since we're twins, right? Like I would love to go out with my brother to a really nice place and have an excellent steak dinner. And
Yeah.
I could be just as happy meeting him for like the crappiest $2 pizza and having a
Yeah.
cheap beer with it. But at the end of the day, if there was going to be a party, I would love to host it. And then everybody goes like, "Oh, you can't host your own party." No, because
You can.
being in this business, like that's all I want to do is see people have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to host it, thoughtfully put together a menu, and like make sure the party is going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to have like some amazing detailed like tapas selection at home, like I'd spend all week prepping it, right, all the week leading up to my birthday, or like a baked potato bar, or it's just something that's fun and easy, or you even make like a grazing table out of your entire dining room table,
Hmm.
just odds and ends, but like with a lot of homemade elements, and then just
Yeah.
making sure everybody's having an amazing time, like because that's how I have a good time, you know
Yeah. Yeah, I
so
think when I turned 36, I ended up indulging way too much alcohol. And so I was not feeling good the following day.
yeah.
And I didn't really enjoy that. Like, it's just one of the things like, why would you do that? Like, why would that's not enjoying your birthday.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, I think in the moment it kind of feels it might be it might be checking a box that maybe you didn't know needed to be checked, but then the next day hindsight's always 2020, right?
yeah,
I know that
exactly.
I got to go play Top Golf last year with my brother, and we went on a Saturday morning, but the night before I got completely wasted and I just was hungover and felt like crap the next day, and I had an amazing time.
Yeah.
There are pictures to show that, but um yeah, no, I just
Been
kind of
there
won't
too.
do that
Yeah.
anymore.
I,
Like,
I think when I
yeah,
turned 34, 35, something like that, right before
yeah,
COVID, we went to Vegas for
hmm
that was the same time we had a mono, and we went to a Static X and Devil Driver show, and I got to meet like the drummer
yeah.
from Devil Driver, and now he's like a good friend of mine. Shout out
Oh.
Austin for being cool, but he's completely sober. So it was like, this is kind of cool, like having a
you
sober birthday,
you can't have fun. I mean, I think the trick is whichever side of that you fall on, and whatever your reason is for drinking or not drinking, finding a happy medium is kind of like the golden ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You can
most
kind of figure
definitely.
out like what the boundaries are, and how to have fun if it's supposed to be a part of your life, and if not, like I just read a really great article the other day about a woman who was sober, and she had gone to a wedding and seen that there was a bartender, and the bartender greeted her and was like super happy, jovial, great customer service approach, until he learned that she wanted something non-alcoholic, and then his face completely changed, and he directed her to a cooler full of kids drinks and juices. Like completely demeaning experience. Like I just couldn't imagine anything more frustrating. So
That's
I would be so
wrong.
upset. I would be like,
I would
dude,
be pissed off too.
can you just put me a mixer and some soda and a glass and a cute little umbrella? Because I deserve the same experience, even though I'm not going to drink alcohol. You know what I mean? Like,
I've done that before where I've gone out with friends and they gave up alcohol. And so they're drinking like a non-alcoholic beer, which even though there's like trace amounts of alcohol in it, they're still enjoying themselves, having mocktails, having a good old time. And, I have a beer and just kind of pace myself. So that way I'm still coherent for the entire conversation. And I have a great time too, So I'm not going to judge anyone for having mocktails. I know I've said in the past, like, I think it's a dumb idea to have like a bar like that, but the more I say that, the more I think to myself, like, man, that was kind of close-minded for you to say that, because everyone deserves to have like a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we all learn and grow, and that's the great thing about birthdays too, is as you get older, they start to mean different things and stuff. But I mean, if you'd asked me when I was a kid, like what my ultimate birthday would be, I would just be like pizza and ice cream and cake. I just no real thought. I mean, maybe when 40 rolls around, it'll be the same. Pizza and ice cream and cake, and then I'll feel like crap the next day.
I know. Now I'm trying to think, like, what can I eat today for? But we've already got a plan out. I think it's not pizza or ice cream
or cake.
Or cake. True.
Steven, do you have like an ultimate birthday dessert? Do you have a favorite kind of birthday cake?
I can't say I do, because it was topped when I had that big giant oatmeal cream pie from scratch. Like, so nothing will ever top that.
Got it.
Yeah, nothing will ever top that, in my opinion.
Understood. I'm not like a huge, I think we discussed this in the desserts episode. Cake is kind of overrated sometimes. I'm coming around to cupcakes because I find that in smaller packages, sometimes they're more moist, and I like the creative things you can do with like piping a filling into the cupcake.
Yeah.
But a pie bar, oh my gosh, a bar of pies. And little baby ones, so you could try a whole bunch of different kinds. Yes.
Would it be? Tell me why it would only be pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Oh God.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But it would have to. I would imagine you have to have like toppings and pies.
It's all pumpkin. Oh yeah. Like, I mean, imagine if you had like 5 or 6 different flavored whipped creams and like all these fruit compotes, and like all these teeny tiny little pies, and there was like cream pies and custard pies and fruit pies. Dude, that would be the most amazing birthday. That'd be so
pretty dope.
awesome. And then, I love a theme, so the dinner could be like shepherd's pie and pot pie, and
it's a pie themed dinner.
Yeah,
appetizer would be one pie.
I think it would probably make more sense if my birthday was like on Pie Day, but it's not. So
neither's mine.
Really close to Thanksgiving, so I don't think it's not like that far of a leap. I don't know. So
you could tie it in.
Do you have a favorite birthday cake though? I know the oatmeal cream pie kind of topped the dessert experience for you, but like, do you have like a favorite if somebody was gonna buy you a cake or make you a cake?
Chocolate's always a winner.
Chocolate on chocolate?
Chocolate on chocolate with more chocolate. But I also like that like royal icing where it's just whipped and it's so light. I don't know what it is about it, but I like that. Buttercream is good.
Lard.
Yeah, buttercream is great, but I just like that royal type icing.
I really, really stand really hard for that Walmart whipped cream icing.
Yeah.
Like the fake. I'm like, yes.
Oh, totally.
The more fake, the better. Thank you. I'd like a corner with more frosting. Thank you.
It's just chemicals that you're putting into your body, and it's totally worth it,
I don't care. It's shortening.
Neither do I.
People have been eating shortening for billions of years. Well, maybe not that long, but for a really long time. And I ain't worried about it. I don't know. Don't eat it every day. Eat a dang baby carrot sometimes or whatever.
Ugh. Dipped in lard.
Dipped in frosting.
Totally. Yeah, yes. Dipped in frosting, yes.
Okay, listen. I saw this guy on TikTok the other day who's like, I perfected the cheese sauce that Golden Corral put on their broccoli when I was a kid. Now I'm just gonna eat more broccoli. And I'm like, whichever way you gotta do it, dude. Whichever way you gotta get it in there. I'm not mad at it. You put out some ranch, I'm gonna eat vegetables all day long.
True.
I'm just saying.
You can make it like a healthy ranch, can't you? Like instead of using mayo and heavy cream and all that stuff, you could use like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese or skim milk.
What's this you could make business? I'm talking about buying at the store.
Oh, okay.
No, you totally can. I mean, blending cottage cheese with a ranch packet is with our trusty old stick blender is like pretty fantastic. Or sometimes a French onion soup packet is not terrible. So
That's true.
I
That's
could crush
very
like
true.
3 pounds of raw vegetables right now if it was here. Like I
It
could
would
do
have,
it.
yeah. I could do the raw vegetables, but it would have to have a ton of ranch. Like I would just basically dip my whole hand and part of my arm into the ranch, and then just lick it all
Would
off and
you
eat the.
would you inject the ranch into the vegetables though? Now then it's
You
like
could do that.
a fruit gusher, like we were kidding.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Like now this piece of cauliflower is filled with ranch. We might be onto something here. I'm just saying, I don't know. Like,
Well, I think I would be. I'd totally try that.
dude, if you could roll raw vegetables into like ranch Dorito dust, I'd crush it hard.
Me
Just
too.
saying. Just saying. Hot Cheeto dust. Hot Cheeto ranch. Oh,
I'm sure that's been done, but
I'm sure. I
sounds.
don't know.
But it sounds good.
Somebody do that.
Tell us about it.
Somebody do that with yogurt so it has more protein.
All right. We're gonna cancel everything out by using yogurt.
Hey, a vegetable with ranch is still a vegetable. I'm just gonna say it.
It's true.
Just
Very
saying.
true. I'm gonna have to try that now. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Always here
Hot
to serve.
Cheeto Ranch.
Hot Cheeto ranch.
Actually, I do dig those baked hot Cheetos. I like baked chips versus like regular chips.
They're really good.
Yeah. But typically they're not really like potato chips. It's like potato flakes, kind of like Pringles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
It's like
still
a
worth it.
compressed powder. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Dude. I freaking
Potato
love
flakes.
Pringles.
I
Pringles are
totally
awesome.
smashed that too.
I won't say I let myself because food by itself is not like good or bad, but it kind of felt like a naughty treat. Recently I bought like the multi-pack of the Pringles, the snack size. It's like 100 calories. I'm like,
sounds
hell
good,
yeah, I'm
man.
gonna eat this 14 Pringles, and I have 6 different flavors. Like, yay! And I thought I was gonna be just munching on it all the time and stuff, but I still have almost a half a box left over. Like, it's just enough to satisfy that. Like, oh, I had
Yeah.
Pringles today. I had Pringles
That
today,
sounds
but it
good.
wasn't 3/4 of the can. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would totally be about that. You make a crust out of that, out of Pringles,
Mhm.
sear off something. So
Yeah.
we might be onto something here.
Have you had the hot Cheetos mac and cheese?
No, but I've seen it, but I haven't had it.
It's pretty terrible, but also good.
I feel like if you were to make it from scratch, you know what I'm saying? That would
Yeah.
probably be better.
Yeah.
Anyone out there listening, if you've done it, let us know
Can you please like tell us if you did this
and send us some
and send it?
via mail.
When I worked at Perry's, they had a jalapeno. I think it was maybe mac and cheese. I can't remember. There was a side item that we used jalapenos for, and so essentially the guy that worked that station would like barrel out, like kind of like trim out the ribs and the seeds from the middle of the jalapeno, and he would make like long matchsticks out of it in order to dice it. It was like a 3/8 inch dice. And I would literally get ranch from the salad station, and I would go over to his station, and I would just dip the jalapeno sticks in ranch. Like, that was the most terrible heartburn, but I could not stop myself. And he would be like, "Dude, you're crazy. I've never seen anybody." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's good, and our ranch is homemade.
Right.
Like, it's tasty. I like it." So, yeah,
I'd be about that. I would totally do that.
So I was the jerk, and the reason that his prep was never done on time because I would eat half of it. Don't be that. don't be that guy.
Hashtag don't be
It would
that
come
person.
time for line check, and they'd be like, "Where are the jalapenos? We open in 30 minutes." And I'd be like, "I don't know. I don't know.
But my chest is on fire.
I don't know, but I think I have an ulcer now." Yeah. Yeah, buddy. So, any other memorable
birthdays are fun. Everything turned out good.
Birthday meals, Steven? Maybe that you cook for somebody else? Does this top them all?
I've done a lot of cooking in my day. And I don't remember every single one that I've done, but I know, I just try to personalize it all the time, you know?
Yeah.
I try to make sure that if I'm going to do someone's birthday, like I make the food as best as I can. If, it ties into the whole, let's make everyone happy. And if you put music on and you cook, 9 out of 10 times you're going to make something really good. And I typically don't cook on too many people's birthdays, but if I do,
Yeah.
I a lot of the time since moving out here to Midland, I would do with a buddy of mine, Chef Mike, and him and I would just have a blast and make people's day like 10 times better.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I think there's a lot of rules that people make up in their head about what is and isn't acceptable on a birthday. Like, and so they have these preconceived notions about like, oh, it's your birthday. Like, you can't eat that because it's not nice enough or whatever. At the end of the day, it's the person who's having the birthday. It's like what they want. And so
Exactly.
I remember, I think during COVID, my mom asked for Greek food and I went all out. We made like hummus and falafel from scratch and homemade pita bread, and like it was legit, and we threw down, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. And then, one other time my stepmom asked for chicken parmesan, so made it from scratch, sauce and all, So those are probably really memorable, other than like, hey, I wanted to go to Red Robin for my birthday, whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, I'll crush some Red Robin really hard too. But
same.
And they have the burger the burger birthday program where you get a free dessert and a free burger. So like you can't like.
Do you ever like go out to restaurants and be like, it's my birthday, and then like they bring you a free dessert and you're like, it's really not
my birthday? No, but I like to do that to other people who I know will be embarrassed. Like get up and go to the bathroom, like it's their birthday, and then they go like, yeah. And the person's just dying, like wishing they could disappear. Yeah, that's pretty
cool. Like, I hate you.
No, I hate you so much. So yeah.
Well, if you ever did that to me, I would totally be okay with it.
Sweet. No,
I'd be like, done, free dessert. Heck yeah. Let's share this free dessert.
Noted. So this is about the time last year where we got to meet in person to go to the fair.
I know.
And
did it pop up on your memories?
It did. I was like,
it did too.
And I have to report that this year they have mustard flavored beer. Whereas like last year, or I think 3 or 4 years ago, they debuted like a corny dog ale, and there would be like a mustard half rim. And it was pretty good. It was like kind of hoppy, and it had all this kind of weedy qualities, everything you would expect from like cornbread and a hot dog, kind of. Really faint, but like the flavor was there. Well, this year, my friends Jared and Tiffany report that they're like fellow fair connoisseurs. They report that there's a mustard beer, and they're going to try it and let me know. So they had that like pulled pork collard green donuts sandwich that I mentioned a couple of episodes ago. So they said it was really great.
That's a tough sell. I would try it just to say I tried it.
Yeah. They said that the smokiness of the collard greens, the vinegar, all that, like it just played everything. Like this.
Oh no, I'm talking about that mustard flavored beer.
Oh, I would try it. I would super try it.
Just to say I tried.
That's the thing. That's the thing about beer too, is I feel like it's really low risk. Is like there's a billion of them out there, and if you don't like that one, there's 8,000 other ones you'll like. Like no harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. There's probably somebody standing 5 feet away from you who will finish it if you don't want it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, sweet. All right. Well, hey, I had fun talking about like birthday meals with you, buddy.
Yeah, they come and go, and we always enjoy them.
I know I'll be working on mine this year, and there will probably be like nothing of note that gets eaten. So, because I will be 10 days into having opened a new restaurant, and ain't nothing going to be happening except for work. So they might get me a cake. I don't know if anybody here knows when my birthday is. I'm kind of fine if they don't, to be quite honest. Yeah. Probably be a bowl of Cheerios at the house, protein shake somewhere at work, maybe a chicken breast. It's going to be about it.
Sounds divine.
I already know. I might just push my birthday to January and celebrate it while I'm in Disney World. I might just do that. And that's the thing. You can get the button there that says I'm celebrating my birthday, and like nobody's going to ask for your ID. I don't think.
True. Well, this was definitely fun. We'll have to look forward to your birthday whenever it is, which we will not say. It's one day out of the year.
One a day. That's right. Well, Steven, we got to go. What are you cooking this week? You said you're meal prepping?
Maybe. I was until we started talking about food. Now I just want to go out and get food.
For real.
Totally. I just want to go get Chinese food. That's what I'm craving.
Oh, that sounds so good. I haven't found the good Chinese here yet, but I'm on a quest. So
you should.
I think I found the good like bar with the dive food. I think
Mhm.
it's getting there. It's moving up in the ranks, but I need to find the good pizza, the good Chinese. So yeah.
Well, I wish you luck on that, my friend.
Definitely found a few places. I mean, probably coming soon in a different conversation, but I definitely found a few places not to go back to. We're gonna have a whole episode of the not amazing things we've eaten.
And then we're gonna get sued by those restaurants. How dare you blaspheme us?
Oh no, we don't
That's
have to do that. No names.
slander.
No names necessary. Slander and libel.
That was this place that I ate at in this one city, and it was awful.
I
We
remember
won't say the name of it.
this one time. All right, Steve. Well, we gotta go. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.